Christmas on ITV, an entertaining lineup of programmes for the festive season.
That's a funny programme, that. Boy, I'll tell you a funnier one. That's Christmas Meadows.
Jorky loves Christmas. Well, he feels safe on the roads in all that snow. People can see him of a night time.
We want to make a very special Christmas Day edition of Game for a Laugh, and we hope you'll be watching us.
Watching you.
Watching us. Watching you.
Listen, everybody, I'm a-talking to you. The Lord is a-coming for to carry you through. You better get ready, and I'm telling you why. The Lord is a-coming from his throne on high.
Is it like Hooter? Is it the same as Hooter?
We're not all there. There's something missing. We're not all there. So the folks declare.
Now, this is your bit. Now, this is where you two, not you two, you two. I wish I'd have seen this dress before, but...
A Merry Christmas on ITV. Fun for the festive season.
Those fried.
The frog or his legs?
He's lovely, isn't he? I think really I've had the most fun, you know, shopping around over the last few months, buying all these things for their sort of stockings and what have you. He's lovely, isn't he?
I was going to say, that's difficult finding the little things that are going to go on the tree or in stocking.
Well, if you leave it to the last minute, you find you spend far more than you intend. This is a similar sort of theme. He's an acrobat.
They're lovely, aren't they? I remember those.
Press it terribly hard at the bottom to get him to...
I went round Tracy and Ian's the other night and they were setting up Neil's train.
Having a nice time.
I shall have to get this sorted out before Christmas.
These are all things, usually these are folding scissors. These are rather super. I've got these for the adults. But usually, you see, we have there for in your handbag.
Oh,
they are very sharp.
That's
they are
lovely.
quite good.
Yeah.
I've got these are for the
They're
adults.
real sort of novelty tree presents, aren't they?
That's right. Well, I think we've got to think of, first of all, they've got to be quite small and not too heavy. What about these? Look.
Oh, do you know, children love it. I think
face paint.
Yes, I think ever since Adam and the Ants, and they've got the makeup, you know.
They can draw
yes,
pictures.
they can
all
make
these different
colours.
As they go into my lipsticks, and then when I go in, I find the top's been broken off, you know. All different colours, aren't they lovely?
Oh, yes.
I remember when I was a child having to wait for my Christmas presents because having Mum and Dad in the pub trade, we always used to have our Christmas presents after the pub shut, after Christmas, and it was dreadful.
Well, as I say, I'm always told off because I make them wait till after breakfast.
Oh, aren't you mean?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Look at that. Have you seen those? Those are those soap leaves. I remember having some of those in a little gift set
I didn't think they were still doing those.
Well, they're lovely, but they're lovely to hang on the tree because, you know, it's light and when I've wrapped it, it'll look nice.
I wonder if they still do the little powder leaves that you used to be able to get like that, and you used to press them on when your face was nose was shiny.
Do you know what happened last year? I'd wrapped all the stocking fillers up and I'd written the children's names on the paper, just scribbled it, so I knew which to put in which stocking when it came to it. And they were all inside one suitcase, which was inside another suitcase in the back of a cupboard. And on Christmas Eve, when I went to get all the stuff out, all the ones that had Simon on had been opened at one end. Ooh. And he'd been in them all. He's a monkey. And of course, on Christmas morning, he hadn't got a surprise because, you know, he'd have seen everything.
An awful laugh.
These are matchsticks, aren't they? Not real ones, but they're a game. I think the
I
boys
don't
are
think
like
I'd
those. Oh, the boys will like these because they like, you know.
Do you not think that encourages them to go to real matches?
No, I don't, because I think they've got plenty here to play with.
You make tricks and things.
Tricks, that's right, and games.
Hello.
Oh,
yes.
Yes. I got lazy.
I was going to say, did you make that one, Maggie?
No, I didn't. In fact, we got together and bought it for, well, the children's home I used to work in. I think we give it to them because it's got lots of things and for different people. It's got 8 of everything, 8 hats and little mottos and that. Yeah.
They're going to pull it.
Oh, yeah, it pulls. I mean, it's a big cracker which actually pulls. And
it's got a
big and sturdy. Yeah, it's got a thing inside to pull with. It's nice.
It is lovely, isn't it?
I'd love to know what's inside it.
Oh, yes.
You don't.
That's the best
have
thing.
A sneaky look in.
No. And these mice here, though, I've had a look inside some of these, and there's earrings in one of them.
Oh.
I used to always...
Gold?
Yeah, well, no, pearl. Oh. But when I was a kid, I used to always manage to get the one with the toy gun in. And the paper hat that was broken.
These aren't for the kids as well, are they?
No, no,
With
no.
the pearls and the...
I was going to say, that one you've got there, Maggie,
Nice.
the decoration on the front, you could really wear that as a Christmas sort of corsage, couldn't you?
You
Like
could,
they did
yeah.
In America,
Yeah.
they
My
have
mother
them.
always used to
They're
wear
lovely.
those.
They really
Yeah,
are.
there is
Yeah.
behind the bar.
They're nicely made. I went to an exhibition, you see, and saw somebody make them. And that's
It
why
makes
I
it look so easy then, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's not
absolutely.
so then.
But talking of people making them, have a look at this.
Yes, I've been waiting for
clever
Maggie to say
clothes.
that. Yeah, I'm here and trying to be modest. I make my own crackers. But don't you think
Aren't they lovely?
I'm impressed, Sarah.
Yes,
Yes, I am impressed.
Well, then, I mean, you will recognise, of course, that if I make them, it must be very easy. It comes from a kit.
No way.
And they're foolproof instructions. In fact, when I first bought it a couple of years ago, it was so easy that I've been buying them ever since. And because you get a sheet like that, and you press out all the bits, and you swap the coloured stars around, and to make your basic cracker, and then you just turn it round. They supply all the stuff that you stick it with, and tape.
Is it messy to stick it or not?
No, because they have double-sided tape that you peel off. Everything that you need, you have. The reason why I like it is because I like to put my own presents in. Because I make them for Jamila and for her friends. And kids get so excited about crackers, and then it's such a disappointment at the end of it.
What about your jokes, though? Do you make up your own jokes?
Well, I do. I mean, I do part of the time, mainly because I've been using this kit for so long, and they always have the same jokes in them.
Oh,
so in the end, I get sick of them. Well, they're quite funny too. Like, what nuts do you need to make a room? Walnuts.
That's a typical cracker.
That is really.
Yes. What note cannot be played? A pound note. But if I make, I mean, I can't make up jokes as such, but I like to make up rhymes that are appropriate to the person.
Oh, that's just as nice, though, isn't it?
Lovely though.
Well, yes, because I can't think of anything actually really funny. But a friend of mine, I sometimes give people presents in there, because when you're buying a little present, it dresses it up in a cracker. And a friend of mine took her driving test. In fact, she's taking it today, and I left a cracker with her to be opened afterwards. And I bought one of those twisted-up pencils, and I don't know if you've seen them. They look like a pencil, they work like a pencil, but they're totally twisted. So I wrote her a poem to go with it. I don't know whether you won or lost, but I certainly know you paid the cost in bitten nails and wild torn hair. Don't pretend now you didn't care. To commemorate whether you passed or missed, this pencil, like your knickers in a twist. I thought we'd cheer her up if she doesn't pass. But for Jamila's friends, I just do little poems about their names. They're not particularly funny.
So what do you do then at the end of this? I want to see what happens.
Well, I stick the presents in, like balloons.
Have you got is that the little thing there that pulls, that makes a noise?
Yes, that's right.
in there already. Oh, I see.
And then, yes, I stick that in, and then I tie it up at the end.
That's
with
clever.
a bit of
So you can
tape.
put whatever you want in there.
Yes, in fact, I usually cram it full of presents.
I hope I've got diamonds in my shirt.
We're worried so much about what to buy her because this surely must be the perfect present. Don't you think so?
All the things I can see on top are delectable. That's all. I don't know what's underneath.
Well, the thing about this hamper is that it's geared to painless entertaining.
Painless.
There's no such thing. No. Well, let's say it is very, very helpful.
Look at
and
this, though, for
entertaining.
Sylvia. Chocolate with peppermint creams. I've been nagging her for years.
No, but
not
that's
to
a
eat
hand
it.
round. If people pop in, then she's got
She
something.
won't hand them round.
I say that's lovely. Look at that lovely
Oh,
box
that is
of
nice.
tea. It's
That's
a nice
lovely.
box, isn't it?
It is.
You keep things in that,
Yes,
aren't
I'll
you?
ask her for that.
Yes.
She's finished with it.
More chocolate.
Put it on the table, Cherry, so we can
And
see what
imported butter cookies.
goodness
Actually,
me.
Danish biscuits are very good. The whole of this is
I noticed.
Danish food. Yes.
Yours feels terribly pure and wholesome from Denmark somehow.
Because they have this clean image, don't they? Everything is so clean.
Cooking with a Danish flavour.
Marzipan.
That's to help with the cake, with the top of the cake.
Oh, I like
Pretty
to eat
good.
it just
Look
as
out,
it
look
is.
out. Excuse me, something big coming up. Chocolate chip cookies.
You could eat one of those right now,
Oh,
couldn't you?
fattening and some more biscuits.
Fattening. Oh, fattening. I'm going round. Oh, that's better.
Sausage.
Oh, Danish salami.
Now, you see,
That's
she
rather
could,
good.
if people turn up, she can make little snacks with biscuits without going to any trouble.
I'm turning up with all this lot.
What
here,
about this?
definitely,
I'm
every
turning
day.
up to get a glass of this.
That's mine. It's got my name on it. That's been Danish butter.
Silver is no, her uncle's Danish, isn't she? Isn't
I
he?
didn't know.
Oh,
yes, she's got a whole lot of Danish relatives.
I didn't know that. Oh gosh, what have we got here?
Oh, Mary.
Oh my dear.
It's a whole pig.
Oh my goodness, look.
Oh,
That's
lovely.
cut.
Oh, I'm definitely calling round.
Oh, that's my dear. Where's the tongue? Take it, my poor hands.
This alone, Mary, this alone is a wonderful gift.
She can get Rog to cook that.
Yes. Mouth-watering. Mackerel fillets. Farmhouse pate.
Good. Fricadella, they're little meatballs in a lovely sauce. Oh, and a cooked ham in case she
good.
doesn't feel like
Yes.
cooking.
Many Coronas. What are they, cigars?
Cigars.
Put that on me.
Give those to Rog. Drinking chocolate to make sure she goes off to sleep.
More biscuits. I'm getting
Right.
starving hungry. All this.
Pate. Oh, I like all these things.
And I think there are several packets of marzipan.
Oh, caviar. Just what
What's
she
in here?
wishes.
Yes. And I've got camembert here. Camembert.
Yes, that's in a tin. I've had that before. More caviar.
Oh, good.
My dear, it's all rather grand, isn't it? Coffee.
Oh.
Coffee. It's everything, you see. There's everything.
Did you know what was going to be in it, Mary?
I had an idea, but I said to
Farmhouse
them, what I'd
pate.
like is one that is a hamper. That would
feel
help
like a
somebody who hasn't been well and hasn't got
Yes.
a lot of energy and probably have people coming in and out, so something that would help life. And I think that's what they've done, and they've done it very well.
Because
haven't they?
I gave one to somebody once with a great deal of trouble, and she said to me after Christmas, I had to give it all away. There wasn't one single thing I liked in the whole...
really? You couldn't say that about this,
Well,
could
no.
you?
Sylvia doesn't want it, will have
No, she'd be virtuous, but I'm always up at the first on Christmas morning because I always
we
cook
all?
my turkey overnight and I go down to have a quick look at it. But I have a shower after I've sort of made sure the turkey's 100%, and then I make up there very early in the morning.
I never put makeup on very early.
No, well,
Christmas Day.
I feel that I am then ready to meet any emergency. Just it's me. I don't. If I haven't got makeup on, I feel so it's going to last a long time. So my little tricks of the trade.
Do tell.
Yes,
Do tell.
I put a moisturiser on always, but I never ever do it except on Christmas morning. Apply my foundation in this particular way, which is just it's a cream one I use, and I squeeze it into the palm of my hand, and I take a dot, and then I put it on like that. Just
What does that do?
well, it enables you to get a very thin film without rubbing your skin at all, or because if you put it on even with a sponge and you're inclined to
Yes,
drag,
that's
you
what I
can
do.
get. If you're a bit heavy-handed, you can sort of start the oil coming from the sebaceous glands very early.
Because I go bright red?
Oh, no. If you go
That's the
bright
sherry,
red...
dear.
What, not
No,
first... No,
no.
that's the heat. Or it might be the sherry. If you go bright red, that's simple. Just, instead of using an ordinary moisturiser, use a green moisturiser. Use a very inexpensive and good one you can get.
Green one.
This is Christmas, not Halloween.
Yes, it does kill all the red. So that when you get red, it doesn't get redder and redder. And the other tip I always do for myself, I normally use a cream blusher, but on Christmas morning I powder over the foundation with a translucent powder. If you like, you can use talc, because that's an old theatrical trick to absorb the moisture. And then I use a powder blusher, because on top of the powder, then it doesn't get redder and redder, and that would be a good tip for you.
So you use
because,
basically all powder?
Yes, because if you put the cream, it's part of the basic foundation, and then the heat in your body will make it go redder and redder.
Yes.
You
What
see.
happens, say, on a Christmas morning? A lot of people will go out, say, to church. I mean, will the same makeup do for?
Well,
indoors
yes,
or
because
outdoors?
I don't make myself up in that sort of way. It's just an ordinary makeup.
Yeah.
But when I'm completely finished, I run some cold water into the basin and then put my face down straight like that.
I don't believe you.
And then
Doesn't
lift
it
it
come
up.
off?
No. And then get a tissue and just pat it dry, and that sets it for the whole day.
That's incredible, isn't
it?
it? You
And
think
then, and then all I need, and I don't even make up again at night. You know, when I change into a long dress and things like that Christmas evening, I just put a bit more blush on, lipstick, and that's it.
It's
The rest
amazing.
is set.
Because I really thought one of the reasons why I don't put it on is that, you know, if I'm in the kitchen it all seems to melt off, the heat of it, but that really keeps it...
The secret is how and you'd think I'd apply the foundation like that all the time.
You would, really, yeah.
But I don't.
You don't do the face in cold water all the time?
Oh, no. I do it if I'm going out for the evening, if I'm going out to a dance or something, or dinner or something, and then I want it to look immaculate. I always do,
Some people use a spray. Like
they do.
Spray,
I can't get on with that spray, frankly, because I always feel as if it's going to go... my hair's going to get wet.
You get bits trickling.
Yes, but...
How do you stop your hair getting wet when you put it in the bowl?
Well, because I don't go right up to this portion of it. If my hair was longer, I would just tie it back before I did that.
Yeah.
But I find that when I'm spraying it, I'm so afraid that the spray's going to go...
Yes.
And the marvellous thing about it is when you put your face in the cold water, you come out and you feel really fresh, alive and wet and ready to face anything.
Yeah.
I mean, let's
which
face
you
it,
need
we need to
on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
But people are afraid sometimes that do have a colour problem like you do, of putting green. But let's face it, people that go red, it's always in the wrong place, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it doesn't look green on your face.
No,
I mean, 'cause that would be awful, wouldn't it?
But you can rearrange it.
Yeah.
For example, if you go red, often people go red down here, don't
Yes,
they?
yes.
And you want to lift the face with a blusher.
Say you were going out then in the evening, or even having people home, wouldn't you need a different makeup then in the evening?
Well, you can always add. You can add. Once you've got the basic makeup, you might add a blusher that's got a bit of sparkle to it, or a little bit of sparkle on your eyes for the evening.
But you don't have to bother about the work.
Don't have to worry about the work.
She's the mother of the bridegroom, so therefore she would be involved in all the preparations. In fact, she found herself being invited to the wedding just like any other guest. Absolutely furious. A friend of mine, whose son is getting married, and she was horrified to find an invitation through the door saying, "You're invited to the wedding of so-and-so and so-and-so."
She wanted to be involved?
She wants to be involved. She wants to be in charge.
Surely she can in this day and age sort of phone his mother and say, look, can I pay for the wine?
She should be only too pleased, or they should be only too pleased to do so. No, I think what it is that she's a career woman and she's used to organising, being in charge, and she has a feeling that because she's the mum, she's being left out, which is
the mum of the groom.
Mum of the groom, yes.
But that happens in other ways as well. I mean, mums always get left out on Christmas morning. When they're in there slugging in the kitchen, the rest of them open their presents and playing with their toy cars.
I do not agree.
I have been.
I do not agree. We come down on Christmas morning and sit in our dressing gowns. One of the others make a tray of tea. Carol perhaps will go and make a great tray of tea, and we sit around and open all our goodies and throw paper everywhere. And then afterwards, one of them will clean it up. You know, I like to be in charge of the kitchen. I'm happy about that. But there's no way I'm going to do the washing up, and they come in and clear as I go, as my
Sometimes
minions.
it can be, you're lucky, but sometimes it can be very miserable when you're stuck out in the kitchen. Everybody else is drinking sherry, saying, what time did you say it was going to be? And the potatoes are a bit hard, and the Brussels are done.
You're saying as if you're talking from the heart.
I don't think you have to make it such a chore, though, today, do you?
No.
I mean, it's
I like to go out in the kitchen simply to get away from all the noise and shouting and people saying they feel ill because they've eaten too much and they're exhausted and their legs are stuck out. I think just to get in the kitchen and get away.
Actually, it was a rather good thing about last Christmas was there were 4 women, Jamila, you, me, and my grandmother, and we shared. There didn't seem to be any work, did there?
Yes.
Because we all sort of knew it was our job, and it just sped past. Nobody had the main burden.
So nobody felt left out?
No.
That's
which
nice.
is good.
No, but I think, you know, I think it's this whole business that, you know, this friend of mine was saying that she feels that women on the whole are very badly served. That on the one hand she wasn't allowed to do anything. She said it's divided between you either can't do anything at all or people depend on you for every little thing. And I think that's what was
It's
annoying
probably because
her.
men are quite confused about women's role since the sort of woman's lib
So
thing.
we.
Exactly.
I miss the man getting up in a bus. You know, in the old days, a man would get up and let you sit down, but not these days. The old women's lib, it's must say, well, they want their independence and their liberation. They can stand.
I think it should be realistic. I think a person should get up for somebody who looks tired or old, irrespective of whether they're men or women.
I always think that's a compliment.
Claire, I've got to the stage, if somebody gets up for me, no, I think, I don't look that bad. I'm prepared to stand up for the rest of my days.
I had a night So I just said, I had a nice thing the other day. I was talking to a chap I know, and we were talking about equality, and he said, "You women amaze me." So I said to him, "Why?" He said, "I don't know why you fought to come down to our level."
That's rather amusing. I was just going to say that I found one of the very few times when I felt different, really, was when I went to my sister-in-law's wedding in the synagogue, and only the men were downstairs, and all the women were, were put upstairs, and we were all sitting in a kind of gallery, looking down at the procedure down below, you know, and I felt really isolated and very separate, from the actual service.
But as a woman, you were on the sidelines.
Very much so.
Very much
so, yes.
I think it's going to be more difficult even for younger women who are growing up in this society to decide what their role is, really, in that way.
It's up to us to teach our children.
I think so.
Give them a position.
Yeah.
Yes.
And teachers as well as parents, I think, really.
Yes, I know. My mother said to me when I was talking about Manny, you know, something how good he was when I was working flat out with 3 children. And I said, you know, I often came home and he'd make the tea and so on. And she said, he was so wonderful, wasn't he? Now, here was I out at work with the kids, and yet if the man does one thing, like bringing in some shopping or something, it's considered wonderful.
It takes more than 1 decade of women's liberation.
Joe actually cooks our Christmas lunch, so you know, it's relatively easy for me.
But he doesn't do it out of any sense of being forced into it by you, does he?
He doesn't do it so that I have a day off. He does it because he doesn't really like being at home anyway, and he couldn't really get his briefcase out on Christmas Day and start working, which is probably what he would do, you know, any other day. So, and he likes cooking, so he just cooks the Christmas lunch.
I'm just beginning to enjoy Christmas in the last few years because I've got the sort of house where I can have people, and I like to be in charge. I like to do all the cooking. I like to do all the washing up of my own things. In fact, I had a crowd last Saturday, and they were all saying, "Now we'll wash up." I said, "You will not. You'll all go out. If anyone's going to break my china, it's going to be me." But I enjoy it because I don't do it the rest of the year.
No, you don't have a freezer, do you?
Yes.
You have, yes, because I find that is, you know, marvellous, because I make the stuffing and the things like that, and he just sort of cooks the turkey and the vegetables and so on, and I make the, you know, I've made the puddings and so on, but he finishes it off.
Yes, that's good. I mean, I believe in allocating certain jobs, like right now you take the dog out and you go and do something else. Well, it usually means...
Still has